Today on the channel, we're going to talk about 10 items that you need to stockpile for World War III. Let's get to it.
Hey buddy, you got a light? Hey man, you got a light?
Before I show you these items, we have to define what we mean by World War III. There's two general types of global conflict. There's a more moderate intensity, hybrid form of World War III, and then there's the high intensity nuclear exchange World War III. All of the items that I'm going to show you today are going to apply to both of these scenarios. So whether it's a cyber attack or the indirect attacks of nuclear weapons use somewhere on the globe, or full-blown, mutually assured destruction, Mad Max nuclear war, all of the items that I'm going to show you today will have a use case. One of the core low-cost emergency essential items has to be a water bob or an equivalent product. This is going to allow you to safely store water for long periods of time in your bathtub. Most people might not realize this, but the water coming out of your taps, it requires electricity and enough pressure to get that water to where you are, especially if you live in a high-rise building. If there was a power outage that was caused by an electromagnetic pulse or a direct strike on electrical transformers, then there won't be any electricity. The moment the power goes out in your city, the clock is going to start ticking in terms of how much water pressure is going to remain. As soon as the lights go out, you want to immediately go to your bathtub and fill it up with water. But if you have one of these, this is going to prevent any sort of airborne contaminants from infecting the water supply, allowing you to effectively have water for about 30 days, depending of course on how big your bathtub is. We're going to show you this in use right here.
All right, so this is the water bob, and we're going to put it into the tub and we're going to fill it up with water. The water stored within this water bob is going to be free of any waterborne contaminants. If it's sitting there stagnant for a long period of time, you might want to add some kind of shock or bleach that will purify it. You want to let it sit for a while before you drink it. You can also use other types of water purification tablets. You also get this pump in order to extract the water. You can use your own pump if you want.
We take for granted having real-time information from all around the world at any given time of the day. In a lights-out scenario, that all comes to a grinding halt, and it's right back to the old-fashioned radio system. Now, there are 4 ways that you can power this device. It has a crank charger on the side. It also has a solar panel system that just flips up just like that. There's an onboard lithium battery for recharging, and there's an AC adapter that you can get separately. Kato radios and similar shortwave radios come in all shapes and sizes. I would strongly recommend you have something like this. They're relatively inexpensive for what they enable you to do. This can mean the difference between having no idea as to what happened and being able to make an informed plan for what comes next. And let's face it, most of your neighbors are not going to have one of these, so you're probably going to be the most popular kid on the block after SHTF. Next, one of the most iconic items is of course a gas mask. But what kind of gas mask? There are so many options on the market. Well, I'm going to simplify it for you today. The reason why you need a gas mask in a World War III situation is multifold. You're likely going to have riots and martial law, so you need to protect against tear gas. If there are fires, you need to protect against chemicals and smoke inhalation. And of course, if there is radiation, you need to protect against the ingestion of alpha and beta radioactive particles. There's nothing you can do for gamma, you just got to go underground for several days. We'll talk about that in a moment. Now, the Mirror Company offers 4 different types of gas masks that range from the most economical to the top tier with all the bells and whistles. All of these gas masks accept 40mm NATO threaded gas canisters. These come in a variety of different sizes. I would just recommend getting the multi-purpose ones, or go a step further, pay double for the 20-year shelf life filters. Most filters are going to last a lot longer than they say on the label, but for safety purposes and possibly ado with marketing purposes, they need to say that. Now, how you're going to know if the gas mask filter doesn't work is that you're not going to be able to breathe through it. It's as simple as that. If you plug the gas mask filter into your mask and there is no air intake, that means that the filter is clogged. The only reason why filters deteriorate over time is because the HEPA filter contained therein might become a little bit frail over time. This could be due to it drying out, and the activated charcoal, if the seal is broken, might passively absorb some of the background chemical contaminants that are in the air. This takes years and years to happen. So don't worry too much about expiration dates with respect to your gas mask filters. In terms of the different types, this is the most economical. This will work perfectly fine for most situations. However, it's not CBRN rated. This won't protect you against blister agents like mustard gas, but it's going to block everything else. In my personal opinion, this is perfectly suitable for a World War III scenario. Stepping it up a little bit, we got the CM6N. This is a CBRN certified mask, meaning that it will protect against everything, and that's largely because of the type of rubber that is used. This will be resistant to those blister agents. The downside with the CM6M mask is that if you want to shoot a gun with it on, you're going to have a hard time establishing a sight picture through a scope. It's just the way the mask is designed. It's a little too wide in the cheek, so you're not going to be able to see through that scope. So that's why a lot of tactical guys go with the CM7M. Now you might be asking yourself, what are the odds that I'm going to be running around the post-apocalyptic wasteland with a gas mask on trying to cheek up to a rifle? I would say 50-50. If we go Mad Max, there's a good chance you're going to be wearing one of these and you might have a gun in your hand. So it's worth considering, although entirely not necessary. Next up is the CM8M. It has very similar features as the CM7M, only a wider visor. Not as good for cheeking up to a rifle, but acceptable. So it kind of combines both of these things into one. I'll post links to these in the description below. Just make sure you have one. Having one is better than none. Next, we have 3 items that are all in the same general category. We have the Nuclear War Survival Skills Handbook. We have a Geiger counter, which is built for nuclear war situations. And we have the ThyroSafe potassium iodide tablets. All of these things are for the worst of worst case scenarios. Starting with the Nuclear War Survival Skills book. This is a low-cost investment. This is going to tell you everything you need to know about nuclear war survival. This book was written during the Cold War era and is intended for a universal audience. Next up is a Geiger counter. This Geiger counter is specifically made for a nuclear war event, and it's made right here in Canada. In fact, the physicists who invented and produced this item have been on the channel several times before explaining how it works. Not all Geiger counters are created equal. The ones on Amazon are not going to be able to detect the right range of gamma, beta, and alpha radiation. That is incredibly important. Now, this is a higher priced item, and while it would be essential to navigate a post-nuclear world, I would say that I would prioritize the other items that we're going to show you today before this. This, of course, is going to provide you information about the radiation in the environment. This is going to prevent the ingestion of said radiation. So what this does is it fills your thyroid gland up with potassium iodide. That inhibits the uptake of that toxic radiation that's in the environment. This is a relatively low-cost thing to have in your nuclear war survival kit. Hopefully you never have to use it. Next up is a low-cost, multi-purpose solution for emergency preparedness, and that, of course, is the Sandbag. It can provide a ballistics barrier. It also can, of course, be used for flood mitigation. Now, for the purpose of preparing for World War III, it serves 2, maybe 3 primary functions. Number 1 is going to be as a protective barrier from bullets or from radiation itself. They say you want at least 3 feet of earth between you and gamma radiation. If you don't have the luxury of having a basement or a bunker, then there are things that you can do around your home to put as much mass in between you and the outside world. You can set up inside your home some sort of protective enclosure, or you can put these on the exterior of your home to attenuate that radiation before it can come inside. This is a very low cost investment. You can get these, depending on the type, between a couple bucks per sandbag to $10 per sandbag. It just depends on how much you want to spend. Of course, with World War III comes the breakdown of law and order. Home invasion will become a common occurrence, which is why you're going to want to have a means of defense and a means of fortifying your home. One of the simplest ways you can do that, and practical even in the best of times, is the Doorade. It's a simple bar that goes across your door that is going to mean the difference between somebody kicking in your door in 5 seconds and it probably taking them 5 minutes, or they'll just never be able to get through. And the cool thing about it is that it's incredibly discreet. So when not in use, it's going to be very difficult to tell that there's anything unusual about your door. Up next is a way to safely store fuels. These Scepter gas cans are NATO standard from the Scepter company, made in Canada. They're made of a heavy-duty plastic material, and unlike their metal counterparts, they're a bit more durable, they're a bit lighter weight, and they don't rust as well. So they're gonna last a long, long time. They have a cool handle system, so you can actually carry 2 at once, or you can carry it right in the center. Of course, the yellow on here means this one in particular is for diesel. You can get ones with the red on it that are for gasoline. They also make water containers as well. If you want to extend the shelf life of your fuel, make sure you add a little bit of fuel stabilizer. I'll post a link to a product called Prige in the description below. Now, while these are a lot more expensive than the metal jerry cans, they're also going to last you a lot longer, and they're safer. Up next is high quality freeze-dried food. Now, we've done extensive exposés on freeze-dried food companies in the past who use misleading advertising and low-quality ingredients in their product. This particular brand is Nutristore. They sell a variety of different types of food: real beef cubes, real cheddar cheese, and real fruits and vegetables. Now, as you can appreciate, this stuff is quite expensive because of inflation, and the process of freeze-drying food is very energy intensive. This is essentially currency, because something like this, you can store it in a cool, dark place. It's gonna be good forever. The texture is gonna be there, the taste is gonna be there. It's just an overall good investment. And because the currency is constantly being debased through inflation, chances are in 10 years, the premium that you paid for this today will likely be completely meaningless, because at that point in time, the cost of this is going to be 3 times as much, but it's going to be the exact same product that you buy today. Another thing you're going to want is an emergency power supply, preferably one that can be recharged via solar. We've shown countless amounts of solar regeneration systems here on the channel before. Right now, we have the Zendur Super Base currently in stock, and it's been greatly discounted due to the fact that it's been discontinued. So you definitely don't want to miss this opportunity. There are limited supplies of these in stock. It's still an incredible system because the amount of storage it has on board and the amount of features it has are really still second to none. There's only one other system on the market nowadays that competes with it, despite the fact that this is nearly 2 years old. So go and get one through the link in the description below. In the very least, you're going to want a small portable battery pack, mostly to power your phone at minimum, because of course that's where you're going to hopefully receive emergency updates, presuming that the telecommunications grid is still fully operational. Last, but certainly not least, is body armor. Things like body armor and gas masks, these are more advanced preparedness items. And the reason why I put it last is because not everybody is going to need this. But let's face it, if things get really, really crazy and you have to do security or patrol an area, you're going to want to have some kind of protection like this. You can get different levels of body armor. You're going to want at least a level 3 type body armor. Level 3 body armor will typically protect against low caliber and handgun rounds. The heavier level 4 armor will protect against higher caliber rifle rounds. You can get different types of body armor, which range from more inconspicuous to more tactical looking, just like this. Typically, the more tactical the body armor looks, the more resistant it's going to be to higher caliber rounds. But if you want something more discreet, there are concealed vests and ones that you can put in backpacks. We've shown those on the channel before. Alright guys, so if you want any of these items that we showed you today, go through the link in the description below. It helps to support the channel. Don't forget, we do have an extensive library of similar videos that we've done that go into a lot more depth than we did here today. Also, if you want to keep apprised of global events as they unfold and stay ahead of the information curve, check out the Prepper News channel. I'll post a link for that below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Canadian Prepper out.
The best way to support this channel is to support yourself by gearing up at CanadianPreparedness.com, where you'll find high-quality survival gear at the best prices, no junk, and no gimmicks. Use discount code PREPPINGGEAR for 10% off. Don't forget, the strong survive, but the prepared thrive. Stay safe.